Oh, here we go. Maybe that's it. Maybe we're working it now. Hopefully, still a lag time. Maybe we're figuring things. Okay, so I had to get into here. I don't know why it looks different each time. Okay, so we'll get things started again. This is Christine Bundy. I am on Gibson County. It is the southwest bottom corner. Welcome, John. Lake County. Lake County's growing. Amazing, amazing. Big things going on with Lake County, definitely. So we'll get things going. Of course, technology, we have to work through that. I don't know why. I'm gonna get, you would think by now, after 2 days a week, I'd get this figured out. But I'm gonna get it figured out as to how it's making sure I'm on YouTube, but I'm working with OBS, so I have the ability to screen share. Technology. Right? Okay, so we wanted to get into talking about travel. Okay, so first, while we all know, that we have the right to travel, but as far as the sea and air jurisdiction is concerned, they need something on paper that they're willing to recognize, because you can talk all day and all night, but they don't recognize you because you, as far as they're concerned, you're still a U.S. citizen, as far as they're concerned, right? And so you have nothing to say. It's just babble for them, right? So you've got to think about things like that. And if it's really just simply because you don't want to do paperwork, right? Why is that? Then you can't blame anybody but yourself in that aspect. You've got to realize that you were a participant in all of this, as well as you filled out paperwork to get in it. It's going to take paperwork to get out of it, right? Okay, so, but there's also, it helps you to be able to know what what your rights are, so you are able to articulate it as well, because there's a point in time where they're going to say, even if it is on paper, it's how are you coming? How are you presenting yourself? Are you coming where you're falling apart, falling to pieces, and you need someone to help you in that point in time? Well, yeah, then they need to come and support you. we want the best. We need, you obviously need help then if you need that kind of support at that point in time. So, but you need to still look through the information, because the materials, because everything's already been provided for us. It wasn't given to us, it was provided for us. Everything we need has actually been provided in that Constitution. We just haven't been the ones to make sure that we receive everything that's been provided in that Constitution. We ended up drinking that elixir of forgetfulness, and that elixir of, well, but if I disagree, they might think that I'm being unpeaceful. And disagreeing is not the same as being unpeaceful. Unless it is your decision to get embroiled in some kind of a battle, then you're being unpeaceful, right? But you have the right to be able to disagree. You don't have to go with it and not be considered, oh, well, regardless, you're going against everything. That's not being polite. That's not showing respect to the authority. Regardless, how dare you question anything? Well, I'm not going to answer to anything like that anyway. So, but that's where you do have to still get your nose in it. You're going to have to break through that legalese. Your eyes are going to hurt. but the Constitution is pretty clear. It doesn't have as much, albeit there's a few words in there that seem like they're fancy language. But get a dictionary and look it up. You can do that. It's possible. You can look up a word in the dictionary, right? Okay, so look it up if you're not sure, right? But there's not very many words in there that you wouldn't be able to get the definition for and be able to figure out the context of how it's being used. And the Constitution, read the Declaration, read the Declaration first, because that's mainly going to give you, that spine that you need, that inner confidence you need, is that reminder. Because you know what, when you go back in and read the Declaration of Independence and you see how much that is going on right now, right today, that was happening in 1776, that we're given the opportunity right now at the threshold to make the change, to get us out of all that, right? But it's you. It depends on you. Whatever, you have to actually do something. So it also means that you have to get into, because there's going to be U.S. codes, and let me go ahead and do some screen sharing here. I'm going to go to the IndianaAssembly.org. Let me screen share so you can see. Oh, and it's that lag, so it'll take a moment, but let's do the display. Okay, so again, it'll take a moment for the lag to pick up. Hey Keith, how you doing? Great to see ya. Or comment and chat with you. All right, so we're getting into. I'm pulling up. Yes, there we go on the delay. So when you go to the IndianaAssembly.org, it redirects to states.americanstatenationals.org/Indiana. The Indiana Assembly supports the domain name, and at this point in time, the Federation has been supporting web space. So this is the web space that is for the Indiana Assembly, and so everything that is up here so far has been populated by me. If there's anyone out there that has presented themselves as a national and do have web design experience, or just even some minimal, but you have some skill enough that you are interested to be able to help support with keeping the website updated, if not so much as design. But design would be greatly helpful. But, if there is someone that would be willing out there to be able to do, at least, helping to keep the updates going, that would be great to be able to help support. If you're interested in that, email records@theindianaassembly.org. Okay, so just a little quick run through here, because there's a lot of important information that'll help you here anyway. So you've got here the Join tab. I've updated here. So you have right here I've got the Declaration as well as links to the Constitution, so you can go right there and get them. Here are the templates. I've been trying to also include updated templates that haven't made it to the Federation website yet, but are already in play. Here's a list of recording secretaries. At this point in time, I am currently the only active recording secretary for the state. You are able to be a national to be a recording secretary. However, you do still have to be fully armored up in order to be a recording secretary, as well as then there is a background check. You would go to clearchecks.com to do the basic background check, but you'll have to add the for the financial credit report aspect. Background check, get that done, and email that to records@theindianaassembly.org or vetting@theindianaassembly.org, so we can get you moving through the because then the Federation will do a vetting process. At this point in time, since we are still working to set up the state level, the Federation is doing all the vetting process for those in elected roles, and recording secretaries are elected roles. But then that would be able to, if you're interested, we can get you moving forward on in your LRO member record. If you go to the member tab, the participate tab, it has where you can select various things that you're interested in participating with. And if you're interested in recording secretary, check that, and that'll get you in the email queue to give you info on that, as well as if there are other roles. Everything that's militia related will all get one email at this point in time to start pulling together until it gets to where we're able to start splitting it out. E-Verify is where you can go here to do just a public search of your LRO record, member record, but of course you would still have to have a name to be able to put in. It's not like a random search of pulling up any people by their county or something like that. Here are outreach. Oh, I didn't mean to go there. But anyway, outreach. Here are outreach materials, recordings, information, things like that. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe is it in? Where did I put it? I think it's on. Here we go. You can also have the opportunity to order the travel bundle with a generic plate. I don't know why that link isn't working. Oh, because I've got that set to go here. Okay, you can order a generic plate or a unique plate that has your county number and a sequence to it. Let's see, maybe it's on public. Okay, so public record, I have calls. Let's see, calls. Let's go to new member. There should be a link for the travel videos somewhere. Open, or let's see, new member here. Okay, so new member. Okay. Maybe I need to update that and put that out here, but it's also because I have a zip file of all the travel. Oh, I know we did a whole run on things. I'll have to get back on that. So I will go in here to where it is. Let me stop screen sharing for a moment. And then that way we can still at least be able to see everything that is in that, that is part of that zip file that comes with that. Because I'm not sure where I have that at the moment on the website, because I've been updating and moving things around. So, okay, so we'll get into, open up that travel. It's a zip file called travel-priv-prop. Let me screen share now. Okay, so I've got this loaded down with information. This should still show up. Yeah, okay. So I've got this loaded down with information. This is everything that's going to be in the zip file. There's a PDF that I don't have a way for it to... Oh, I could do it where it shows it. That's on the web drive, but it's got... I'll end up pulling it up. Okay, so technology, working through things, getting things figured out. It's probably going to be better than if I then go to here so I can pull some things up to review them with you. Because really some of that it's best to actually look at it. Here. Travel kit. Okay. So let's see. We can do a screen share now because you can be able to see I've got this in a file capacity, so we can be able to open things, get a view of what the files are. Okay. So we have here, and this should make this bigger and make sure it's gonna preview. Yeah. Okay. So we've got in here, here is a letter from the U.S. Department of Travel. I'll just go ahead and pull it up. Make sure it is going to be screen sharing. Oh, it's probably helpful if I get me out of so much of the darn picture here. Hold on. Here we go. Pardon, guys. Okay, so this is included in that zip file. Here is a letter from the United States of America, or it's from United States of America Department of Travel, dated November 23rd, 2015. Okay, it's signed by Norv Eisenberg, Foreign National Division. A copy went to Loretta Lynch, Department of Justice Attorney General at the time, and Department of State Secretary John Kerry. Interesting how he's still in that. Anyway, he's another one of those that people need to work with. Okay, about getting straight, because he obviously is on a different path. Okay, so here we have violation of U.S. Supreme Court rulings regarding the right to travel. Subject education of law enforcement in North Carolina judiciary. So here is a letter that goes through where it's showing proof even on to get clarity, or you can go to the Department of State website to help educate yourself on this information. So they were able to, so this was straight from the U.S. Department of Travel. So that is an important piece that you'll want to print to keep in. You'll want to read it, of course, and go to these links, right? You'll want to go and look at it for yourself. The more you immerse yourself in reading it and taking it in, even if you're just repetitiously reading it, okay? Just even if it's a repetitious reading, it's not something where you're focused on writing down, taking notes as much as possible, highlighting and doing things like that. Just make sure you're even just doing a repetitious reading, and that'll start helping it to absorb in. Because being able to also go to these links is also going to support you, because I mean, this is coming from Foreign National Division that's giving you direct support in that. Okay, this is also great to have printed on hand to be able to keep in your personal travel kit in your car, truck, so that preferably you're not in a situation that you end up possibly getting pulled over or something like that, but maybe you are able to maybe you are able to get an opportunity to meet an officer you've stopped in at one of the local restaurants to have lunch or dinner or something like that, and they're sitting in there, and you may have an opportunity to say, hey, I was just wondering, did you know that did you have this knowledge about this? Have you heard of this? What's your thoughts on this? Don't go in accusing, but start asking them, have you heard of it? What have you been told, from your employers about this information, right? Ways to be able to, start communicating, which that's something else that I think is also in here. Yeah, here is the thick red line. Okay, here's a PDF of it. The same one is also, this is where I've pulled it off of the Federation 50 State website on the educational tab. Okay, and then that way you can print it right out, read that. That's another way of being able to help support you in how to be able to support conducting yourself, as well as how to be able to communicate with the de facto. Okay, so that is all in there, and I am going to make sure I figure out where that link is. Otherwise, I'm definitely... And you know what? Let me also stop display a moment, and I will go ahead and put the link in the chat So at least for right now, till I have an opportunity to do that updating to the website, you at least have access to this. Let me get the link. Okay. And I'll come to, I'm going to put it directly in the YouTube chat. Do I want to do that? Yeah. Okay. So, in the chat is the link to the zip file that comes with it. It's the part of the bundle if you purchase the private auto plates. Alright. So, we've gone through that. Okay, so here is... Okay, hold on. Let me do the next one of going through letters. So, also in this bundle, we did that one. Okay, so okay, so there's that. Alright, so let's take a minute with this. Alright, this is where you'll have a copy of this that you can print out. Oh, better display. You're not going to be able to see that. Okay. This is the letter that I sent out to all the 92 sheriffs on Indiana when first coming in to the assembly as coordinator. The assembly put together a separate special donation that was set up that was just for the postage, so all of that could be sent. So here is the letter that goes through the information, and that's also got my details here. Then we've added in the declaration that was included with everything in here was what was sent to all the sheriff's officers that you could be able to keep. Now, of course, since then, because that was 2019. Think about that. That was 2019. This really needs to be done on an annual basis. So until there is that working, well, we don't really want too much of a working relationship, but at least till we start having being able to realize, get the de facto to realize that we are here, that we do have authority to be here, and they have to respect us. So that keeping that as that reminder needs to be done. Now, since then, it's been it's still been a difficult task trying to get the postage pulled together to be able to do that. If you're interested in supporting postage so that we can help, so the assembly can keep getting these notices sent out to all the officials. There are 92 counties, and there's all the officials on all the, it's not just going to 92 counties one time. There's several people on each county that need to get these. So if you're interested in supporting the postage to cover for all these mailings, you can go to on the right side of the website, there is a link where you can also go for all the products and stuff, but at the top it says donate, and there's various ways that you can help support the assembly, and one of which is postage. If you could be able to support with postage, because we still also have to be able to have the paper to be able to print everything, the ink to be able to print it, the envelopes, the labels, the time to be able to put all the envelopes and everything together. So while many still think, they're looking, because while they were hurt by a false entity, the Indiana Assembly is not that false entity. And as it's volunteers supporting all the assemblies. And at this point in time, it's me. So while many seem to think, well, the assembly that's just a little bit of postage to return my paperwork back to me, and that's not a big deal. But the reality is that there are many times where the funds aren't sitting there with the assembly, and that it's coming from me directly to cover those funds, to be able to make sure you get there's been many a times that my family has supported a lot of things to make sure things keep going, but many aren't. They're in that mindset of thinking, well, that's an organization and they can just make it happen. And there's me. because it's helping to get people to get educated, to grow a spine enough to start actively starting to support, because they just want to get that paperwork to get that free meal ticket and not do anything else, but expect the assembly to be there to provide all their services. But there's nobody else standing up to be able to help provide those services, so I'm still here. So remember, there's a lot of things that still need to be done that are still just being done by me. So stop trying to associate and think that the assembly is like the de facto that has a full paid staff that's able to make sure everything gets done in a timely fashion and everybody's getting a paycheck regardless of whether they do this much work or that much work. Okay? So you need to keep that in mind. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Okay? And constructive support of say, hey, this link didn't work. I just want to let you know that it doesn't work from this email. It was going to this or something like that. Things like that help me as well, of that communicating instead of just passing it off and just not, instead of maybe get a little upset that the link doesn't work. I'm sorry, I'm trying to work through all the text. So anyway, here, these are all things that, having that zip file, I can't help the assembly at this point in time anyway. It's not feasible to actually print all of this out for you all and send it to you for these costs and the costs of shipping and the cost of postage and everything. It's not feasible to do that. So, I can provide you the PDFs that you can print all you want, as many copies as you want. But it's still up to you to be able to then not just print it, but actually read it and know what's in there. So having this declaration of jurisdiction and provenance is going to be able to start giving you some more of that inner knowing about who you are and what your standing is, what you're able to do. This also included, because we're still in this, of the mailing that was sent to all the Indiana sheriff and state ISP. Yep, the ISP too. We did have one Indianian on Madison County that took up the mantle, and she supported sending all the ISPs to be able to get those mailings out. So, but again, all of that occurred in 2019. We've got, there's been a lot of office holders that have changed in this time, and these reminders need to go out to keep them reminded, give them that education, informing them. Included in here is this letter from the Arizona State Senate from December 10th of 1985. That is to Director Milstead from Wayne Slump, the state senator for Arizona. It's come to my attention that numerous individuals in our state have rescinded all of their contracts with the United States federal government, the state of Arizona, and each of its political subdivisions, establishing themselves as freemen under the organic national constitution of the Republic of the United States of America. Consequently, they may be driving without auto registration, driver's license, or any other evidence of contract, because many law enforcement personnel may be unaware of the contractual nature of auto registration and driver's licenses. It is conceivable that this situation may lead to confrontation between these individuals and law enforcement personnel. I urge you to inform yourself and your personnel about this matter as soon as possible. If you would like to be briefed by someone knowledgeable on this subject, please contact me. In the meantime, and as such as this procedure is entirely appropriate when properly carried out, I would like to be personally notified of every such instance of confrontation in order that the persons involved and the public officials involved may be apprised of the correct procedure and the appropriateness of their actions on the part of each concerned. And then it goes in with contact. So that's a big one that's supportive there as well. All right, so here is, now we no longer have this. Again, this was 2019. We do, I mean, these plates are still out there. You still can get them off a man on Nevada. He is an American state national. However, he's slipped into that having a it's a membership or something like that, but it's still incorporated, and he requests information that's your DNA information. Okay, so that triangle in there is telling it there's different symbols for various things, but it identifies what your blood type is. So it's a little bit interesting how that works, but it's also that you provide that information to him and it's theirs. They have it. So now this is me, because I had tried it, trying to figure out what was going on with this, but I did not end up purchasing then the plate to be able to use it. So at this time, this is not something the Indian Assembly is putting together now. But there is the general plate. It does not have ASN now. I think it's this one here. And then there is the one where it has the new assembly seal over here, has your county here, and then a sequence number over here. Okay. And then it included so they would see where nationals have written retired on there. This was the previous, how the previous credentials looked. They've been updated a little bit more at this point now, but at that time. This, which the template for this is in the zip file. The template I've already looked up the Indiana code. You'll want to look it up too. All you'll need to do is a highlight, copy, and paste. Put that in your search. We'll do that right now. Because this was about, let's see. Let me get a good copy here. Alright, so it has your name as per the Uniform Power of Attorney Act, Section 1101, and State of Indiana. So that's the Uniform Power Act. That is not what it copied. Okay. I guess because it's a PDF, it should still be able to do it. Let's try this. Nope. Okay, so it's code Title 30, Article 4. Article 4, Chapter 5. Oh. What is going on? Chapter 5, Indiana Code. Alright, so here's 2019, because that was when I looked it up. Okay, rules governing the administration of a trust. Interested person, matter resolved. Okay, matters resolved by non-judicial settlement. Okay, and so this goes into, let's see. interested person. Well, but it's for, I don't know why it's going into, hold on, let me go back one and see what that, that's why online things can also at the same time be an issue, because that it's easier to make subtle changes, because it should only go, okay, let me try, because it went further in. Let's see. Five, 4, right? Is that what we're 4, 5, Article 4, Chapter 5, Article 4. Article 4, Chapter 5, Rules Governing the Administration of a Trust. So it's through chapters 4, Article 4, Chapter 5. Oh, I don't want all that. Okay, Article 4, Chapter 5. So this is going through the governing of a trust. Okay. And it may be that it's a different browser at the time. Okay. So, and then you can also do Uniform Power of Attorney Act Section 1101 and put that in the search engine as well. Now, here, this bond number, the reason there's nothing highlighted here is because this bond number is because that's the bond number that Anna set up that covers everyone, that is to support everyone. Okay? And so on the template, it's going to have hyphen and the state, I want to say, on here as well. But that, again, this is so that they can see what the example is, that they'll be able to see that, you know, a bond was prepared to cover for this as well. This also includes, okay, so here is, these are the federal level of the Constitution. So there's Amendment 11. Again, this is all what was provided to everybody at the time of sending out to notify the de facto. Includes Amendment 11 and how the Amendment 11 reads: the judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. Here's Article 4, Section 4. Let's see. Hey, Roy, welcome Lake County again. As I'm still reading, the link that's in the chat is the link to the zip file that has the travel documents that we're going through. And right now we're going through the letter that was sent to all the ISP and sheriff when I first came in 2019. Here is then Amendment 10, Article 4 is the Supremacy Clause. Okay. Breaks those down. Then here is on the municipal side, here's the full Title 50 sole relief and remedy. Read all that. It's only 2 pages here on this, but it's tape print. Okay, so that's what was sent to all the, and you can also see this updated on when we go to the Assembly website, and let me make sure it's making those changes for you too. Yeah, it'll take a minute on the lag with YouTube. Okay, what was I doing here? Oh yeah, public record. So when you come here and you go to public record, you'll come here to notices. Nope. Click public record itself. Because that's the Assembly's public record. So you'll see here, this is now where it's also here, see notices sent to the de facto officials. When you click on here, these are the different, these are several mailings, right? Each one of these are a mailing that were done to the, for each of these. And then you can be able to see where it includes all the postage stamp, all the postage that those were sent. Okay, so here is, this maybe even, you know, yeah, so you can see, here's where all these were, this is where these were sent to the governor and state officials at the time, informing them that we're here. And so you can have those to include that they have been served notice. Okay, so you could be able to add those to your travel bundle as well. Now let's see. Also in here we have pictures. Here's one, so you can be able to use these how you would like. Here's one. You can put this as for a property sign in your yard. Warning to all federal, state, county, and local: do not trespass, with codes for you. Here is, so you have a print proof flag. So if you wanted to order more of your own flags on various things, you have that. This is that notice. Here is an updated one that this is all that same information now that is on the one that we were reading through. You'll put your photo here, and your recording number will be your 1779 Declaration of Naturalization number, whatever number was put on there for the recording number. Or if you did not do the 1779, you would have done a deed of reconveyance or deed of conveyance. You can use that record number on there. And then here again, as you saw, there was that bond number listed for that. And then on the back of this then goes into more code details that you can, and this you can easily prepare yourself. It does. It says needs assembly seal, and I've already, obviously you need to be in Indiana, on Indiana. Okay. All right, so there is, hopefully you were able to see that. Okay. All right, so that was that letter. I get so many windows open. My son, he goes crazy on me, even though he's kind of like that too. Also in here, I've got the I don't know why that is. I've got to update that then and check it in the zip file. Okay, so it has here, because in that zip file has the final enrollment, things like that. So we'll go back here so we can be able to pull it up. So what's included is this one here is the roll call vote when first bringing the assembly back in, helping to support standing the assembly itself up, and getting, this is the final enrollment of calling all the states back together. Okay. That's what this one is for. This is the final enrollment. This is to set all 50 states, because remember at the time that the Northwest Ordinance, the states, including Indiana, the Northwest Ordinance was not part of the original colonies, nor was the Western states. So it's this document here that was Indiana's portion to call all 50 of the states, not the U.S. territories or possessions. Only the 50 states. So that's Indiana's. Here is the public law for Indiana's roll call for the public law of 2021. First public law established since the 1800s. So here is the public law. Here's where this is on the record. And all of these for the assembly are also on the federal record that's on the 50 state site. And then here is the International Peace Treaty that you can also include. This main page here is updated in the spreadsheet, or in the zip file. I'll figure it out how to speak one day. Okay, so there is and this is important to read. Okay, like here, for example, agreement for all the states then existing and existing now agree via this grand peace treaty of the states to uphold this peace both within and without their borders, and to forever end and release the disputes arising from the American Civil War, and to return all states to their natural status and sovereignty as states of the Union without exception and according to the equal footing doctrine. Okay, so you can be able to read through those. That's important to support you. Okay, let's see what else. Let me close this. Okay, here are more that you can be able to, of pictures you can be able to use. Here is a notice and warning whom it may concern. I think that's this one. Yeah. I have, let me stop this a minute and show you what I do for the assembly mail. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So I have this bag that I've put, of course, the peace flag and the Z's, and I've got this in here that's so I can go to the mail. I keep a pen, a red pen and a blue pen in here. I keep a red and blue pen in here so I have to be able to carry. And then I have that warning, and it's the one I have is a double-sided laminated, but this is the one side, and I've got the scan of the other side. And then that way when I go to the post office to get the mail, it's got property of foreign official on it. So just little ways that you can be able to show. You can be able to do things like that. I have one on the front door with the Z tags and the flag. The little stickers for those. And I have those stickers on all the windows so that they're outside back door. And then the front door, and at least one window on each side, I have one of these warnings on the window. So that way, should anyone want to try to come through the window, we got that covered. So, and I have puppies that have come in here to visit me at the moment. Yes, hello. Okay, so let me stop screen sharing that one so that you'll be able to see, and it has codes on here. Look them up, okay? Look up those codes because they'll be super beneficial for you in this process. Let's see. Hey Casey, welcome. I just caught you got your comment in, dear. Welcome to the call. We're going through the zip file, which I've got a link in the chat that has the free zip file that comes with if you purchase the National Private Auto Plate bundle. There's a generic bundle that has the generic plate. Actually, I got them right here. Let me make this so you can see it again. Hold on just a moment. Make this, stop that a second. Make this a little bigger so you can see. Okay, so here is the general plate. Now again, bare minimum to be able to be eligible for these are the 1779 Declaration of Naturalization, birth certificate, and 2 witness testimonies. Okay? Alright, and then again, the link is all the document bundle that comes with it. Okay, so here is the generic plate. That bundle is $39.50. That's the plate that gets shipped directly to you, and then you have the link for the bundle. And then here is the unique plate. It has the Assembly's logo here, but it, not the seal part. And then it has At Home on Indiana. And then at the bottom here, it has not for hire, not in commerce, not a vehicle, private automobile, personal use only. Okay. Now, then it has, this is, okay, so I'm on Gibson County, so Gibson County is 26. This was my tester plate to be able to test to see if it was printing, how it printed anyway. 26 is the county for me. And then this is the first plate issued on the county. And so they'll be in a sequential number. Now, we're not going to be able to tell how many nationals are on that county based on that plate, but you'll be able to start getting the gist of, as you start seeing them even become visible, you'll also start seeing the numbers increase. Because it's not just for your car or truck, but it's also if you have a, for anything you would have plated with the state of Indiana. Okay? And we have so you would have this, if you're not able to articulate, Anna says don't pull the corporate plates off. You put this in your window, or if you got a space on the front for for an extra plate to put it on the front, but don't take off the corporate plates unless you're able to articulate, because they're sniffers, right? That's a probable cause thing that they'll want to try and see what they can figure out while you're doing it. Okay, so unless you're able to have that conversation. Now, you may end up hearing the pups are starting to play with each other, so they're getting a little growly. But okay, so this plate then, okay, so this one with the bundle, then because the one we were running with before, the generic, which is still available, the Assembly year before voted $39.50 as the for the fee on that one, and then the Assembly just voted January, February for the plate and for the fee of $49.99, and it includes the bundle. Now there's no expiration, so it's not like you have to renew it every year. It is it's an aluminum plate. So the only reason you're renewing is if you did damage it in some way. We're not even sure what the weathering. We just literally started them, so we're not sure how they weather. Whether or not, because they do have a plastic coating you can get for them too, for a protector if you wanted to. But that's something we'll just have to see how their product works as we go. Okay, another picture of a one. Okay, I've already shown, and we'll finish up these. Here's the other side, I think, of that same sign. Let me get the display back up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the other side of that. So, but it'll be 2 pictures in that bundle so you can be able to print. Hey Jeff, how you doing, dear? Marion County's on the call. Loving it. All right, guys. Amazing. All right, let's go with, okay, then also included in that zip file, do not trespass. So I'm combining, obviously, property, these stickers, because there's the smaller size, as I had shown here. We've got these smaller stickers if you wanted. I don't think I've got a thing up for it, but I have some of those smaller stickers, one of which is this one. But this is already print quality, that if you wanted to put this in a yard sign, to do a yard sign, let me show you. I mean, this one's a little bit bigger, but it's a yard sign, right? Where it'll have a, so if you wanted to get that, put do not trespass as a yard sign, you can do that, or we have them, or we can order them where they're the metal. I have the big one like this that's in a metal that's outside. You want to try and put it on, you know, all 4 corners where it's visible, posted. It has to be posted. There's no point in having it if you don't have it posted, right? No point in having it if it's not even posted, as Anna says. Okay, so here is another big one here that you'll want to read through. Let me make sure I'm screen. Nope, I'm not. Okay, this is the declaration of flag, conveyance of the abeyance, end of presumed interregnum. Okay, and this is the signed version. Now this is 29 pages, but it's worth every bit of it. So you'll have to get into it though, because it gives some history going through. Okay, but it's going through every bit. Okay. So that's a good read for you to read, as well as to have with you, so that you can be able to, because you'll want to have extra copies of a lot of this, so that you can be able to share it, so that they can be able to take it with them. It's not like, you know, anybody that you talk to, whether they're de facto or not, anybody that you're talking to, you know, they're not, in that moment, they're not necessarily going to be able to stop to read, right, that, you know, a couple of pages, but, you know, have a few extra copies of this kind of material that you have set up just to give away, to share, so that they can be able to have that to look. The dogs are getting to where they're playing. I may have to get it. It's probably a good sign to wrap up pretty soon on that. Okay. Now here is also some information. Let me screen share. Yeah, that should be screen sharing. Again, YouTube has its lag that it does, but let me close that. Yes, I hear you, my pup. Okay, my black lab is calm. Let me finish this. Okay. So in this, okay, I'm going to have to take a pause a moment because the dog is needing me at the moment. So let's take a break, 2 minutes. Be right back. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay. All right. Come on. Come on. Okay. Get the camera back on. Hopefully, yes, good. Okay, sometimes that doesn't always work. Sorry about that, guys. I have a 95-pound black lab that when he's ready to go outside, you're not doing anything else till you let him out, so I apologize for that. That I will apologize for. He's my pup, but he's my mighty steed, as I call him. Okay, so back to here. This is included in that zip file. Okay, no law requires you to record, pledge your private automobile. So this document here goes into the codes and cases that discuss your plates and not needing to register your private auto. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else in this? Am I missing any? No. Okay, let me see what else is in here. Okay. Oh, and then we have here, even most recent is 2020 with Trump, a letter. This should show it. Should pull it. It should, yeah, that should be showing a delay. Should pick it up here in just a minute. Okay, so this is the letter from Trump, May 4th, 2020, regarding U.S. federal person Roger Allen Moore, RAAJ, Amexim Moore Raphael, and taxpayer decedent's social security number. Okay, because that's how they refer. That's why everything is going through a probate court, because they say we're dead. Right? Okay, so the above mentioned U.S. federal public person has a prepaid non-obligatory commercial debt obligation agreement with the all caps United States in relation to 12 U.S.C. Code 95A. Regulation of transactions and foreign exchange of gold and silver, property transfers, vested interest, enforcement, and penalties, Part 2, and either public policy on U.S. debt. And goes in about here, the IRS being under the U.S. Department of the Treasury, your Federal Reserve. Okay, so your business entity is federally bound to the all caps United States and U.S. public debt obligations by way of your Internal Revenue Service employer identification number. The IRS being under the U.S. Department of the Treasury and your Federal Reserve business bank account. You're ordered to itemize whatever and however many commercial products and or services which the above U.S. federal public person wishes to commercially acquire, and so forth. So, and refer them as sui juris, de jure, improper person. Okay, so that's some good language to learn, right? Okay, I think that's a good run of everything in that bundle. It's mainly really, you gaining your knowledge, gaining your power back as to who you are, what you're, knowing that you have the right, that they're not the ones in control, that you are the one in control, right? All right, so I know there's a lag, but we'll go ahead and put it out there. Our relative to travel, okay? Do we have any questions, or are we good for tonight? We'll come right back next week. Give a moment here to be able to respond in the chat, because we are just over an hour now, and I've been trying to keep it roughly an hour because it is a weeknight, and many of they've already had their day and are getting prepared to settle down for the evening so that they can then start the whole thing again So if you have any questions, I'm just trying to hold out because I don't know why such a delay, and I'm not really sure how to be able to tell how long that delay is. And the crazy thing is, setting it up, it even asks you if you want to delay the video itself. There is, of course, the delay for the chat, but there's also a delay on the video feed and everything to YouTube, and I've put no, but it still continues with that lag. So I'm not seeing any questions. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to go ahead and be on the call. And I also want to commend you, because you do need that extra, support of knowing you're not the only one. There are others out there. You're seeing them coming. They're in the chat. You're not actually seeing them. You are seeing them in the chat. But that way you can be able to see that there are others out there, and we can start helping to support each other in seeing how things are, how we can act, how we can be able to support each other in bringing this change around. So I want to thank you all. Have a lovely evening. Remember that we're coming in peace. We're staying focused on peace and love and forgiveness of ourselves just as much as each other. I want to wish you all peace and love. Have a great evening. See you all next week. Thank you all.